Alright, so what's good, y'all? Basically in today's video, I'll be going over the fastest way to get every single title in Project Slayers. But just before we go any further, if you guys do want a friendly community which also has a ton of giveaways, make sure to join my Discord server, link in the description. There's a bunch of tools in there for trading, PvP, and things like that. So if y'all are interested, make sure to go ahead and give it a try and click the link down below to join my Discord. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so first I'm gonna start off with the greatest title and the 1 million damage title. So basically what y'all want to do is you guys want to go to Carry Baiting Village and just follow this guy's instructions. But yeah, basically, you just want to gather up all the dummies and then hit them because they do count as damage towards the greatest title. And yeah, that's basically the fast way to get the greatest title. I'm going to go on to the other titles now. Alright, so the next title I have is basically all these solo titles. And I'm going to start off with the tier 5 bosses. So Akaza, Doma, Tengen, and Rengoku. Basically, what y'all want to do is basically just farm boss rotations. It is pretty simple. There's no really tip to make this any faster other than just doing boss rotations. They do take a while, since you can only do one about every 15 minutes. So if y'all do 15 times 50, since that's how many times you got to kill them for the title, it is about 750 minutes. And then if you guys divide that by 60, you get about 12 and a half. So yeah, 12 and a half hours to get some titles is pretty crazy. But yeah, if you guys just if you guys have been doing boss stations in the past, you guys probably should have around 20 or 30 already. Alright, so now for all the bosses that are like tier 1, tier 3 that don't have their own cooldown, there is no fastest way to get all these. I'm not gonna lie, you just gotta do it normally. I would say instead of spending 30 plus hours getting all of them, I would just focus on the ones that give you the best stats. For example, Zuko and Yahaba and those guys, I would just skip them. And to be honest, just focus on like the ones that give you good stats. And that's really all I could tell you guys. There's really no fast way to get those, so I'm gonna go on to our next titles. Next is all the BDA and all the breathing mastery titles. For those, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just want to get every single one of them, spend 2 ores to get the 2 times mastery, and then just do Ughara, and then you should get there. It takes about 45 minutes per one, depending on how good you do every dungeon, obviously. But yeah, about 45 minutes is what I usually get. And you just want to repeat that with every single BDA and breathing, and it's basically that simple. Alright, so next we got all the Ughara titles. And honestly, in my opinion, these titles are not worth it at all. Like after C rank raider, I would not go for any more. Maybe even B rank raider, but that is over 1,000 minutes, which is over 10 hours, closer to 20 hours actually, and that is just a ridiculous amount of time to be spending on Ughara when you're not really gaining anything if you're max level. Polo items are terrible, and the extra 3% drop rate really isn't that great. But if you guys are interested in getting these titles, this is the fastest way to do it in my opinion. Similar to the tier 5 bosses, you basically cannot even make this any faster than it already is, as there is a time limit, I guess. So basically 10 minutes is where you're gonna have to spend in every dungeon. So what I do is basically last 10 minutes and then die and then hop in the next dungeon. No matter what health you are, no matter any of that, just die and then hop into the next dungeon. That is definitely the fastest way to do it. Even if you do that, it would still take over 800 hours to get the 5,000 Ughara completions title. And in my opinion, that is ridiculous for a title that's not even good. Alright, so now for the money titles, the bandage method did get patched. So the new best way now is basically to sell polar and devour materials. If you guys do plan on going for the Ughara titles, and this should be pretty easy for you guys, because if you guys can do that many Ughara dungeons, you will get a ton of materials. And these do sell for a ton, so you guys should be able to get these pretty fast. So basically just go ahead and do Ughara, you will get a ton of materials. Do not sell the orb glaciers or the living flesh, that is very valuable. Only sell the Ughara materials because those are pretty trash, but everything else like the living flesh and the orb glaciers, keep those, but just sell all of the trash Ughara stuff. Trust me, you guys will not regret it. No one even wants those items anyway, they're irrelevant. So yeah, just make sure you guys go ahead and sell those and do Ughara, and that's the best way to basically get this. Alright, so I'm gonna need y'all to keep up because I'm about to go over the NPC titles, and I'm gonna read off all of them right here for you guys. Noob, Boosted, Ba, Mercenary, Toxic, Greenie, and Build Different, as well as Bandit Killer are all dropped in the same way. Basically, they are a slim chance to be dropped from NPCs. Now, we don't know what this chance is, but it is a slim chance. To get this, I believe it does work on Ughara mobs, so what I do is basically just get them from Ughara mobs. This is also a good way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because you could also do the Ughara titles as well as doing this at the same time. But yeah, for the slim chance, I would recommend just going ahead and doing them in Ughara. Now, there are 3 different ones which I will name right now: Nomad, Crusader, and Marauder. So Marauder is when you get 750 NPC kills, Crusader is when you get 1,000 NPC kills, and Nomad is for 3,000 NPC kills. I'm pretty sure this also does work in Ughara, so you guys could also go ahead and do those at the same time as the other NPC titles. So yeah, that's basically all I got for you guys for the NPC titles. Just before we go into the next one, which is the Mugen Train titles, a big and strong recommendation I have is to actually do all these titles with friends. It is so much easier to get all these titles when you have someone doing it with you rather than doing it by yourself, for many reasons, including boredom and just the overall speed of it. So yeah, make sure you guys have a group of friends that you guys are doing this with, because it does make it a lot easier, trust me. Obviously, an exception to the solo titles. The rest I would just do with friends. It is way better, trust me. Next up, we got the Mugen Train titles. These ones are the most time consuming, so yeah, I wouldn't really recommend doing these, but if you guys do want to do them, this is the fastest way to do that. Okay, so for the regular Mugen titles, I'd recommend doing those by yourself, because you can get the Flesh Monster and the Enmu ones. I mean, like the titles for them